Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and review. I'm having an adult beverage, and tonight I'll be discussing Marked by Measha Stone. I downloaded this off of KU. Of course, I'm gonna give my honest opinion. These are the tropes and the content warnings. And my rating for this book is 3.75, so what's it about? So this book is about Harley, who had something unimaginable happen to her growing up, where her mother, and her twin sister Quinn were all kidnapped, and unspeakable things happened to her and her sister that ended with her mother having to make an impossible choice that ended in just the mother and Harley walking out. It's years later, and her memory of the event is spotty at best, which is why the men responsible have never been caught, and she has been left to pick up the pieces of not just her life, but her mother's as well, while being haunted by the nightmares. Well, it's the anniversary of the event, and it's a little rough for everyone, as you can imagine. But she starts to feel like someone has been watching her from the shadows, and she's starting to feel like someone's prey. The thing is, she actually is being stalked, and the closer he gets to staking his claim on her, the more his darkness calls to her and her own darkness that stems from her past, leading her to believe that this man could either be her salvation, because only a monster could understand her demons, or he could be the one that finally leads to her destruction. So what are my thoughts? Again, I'm giving this a 3.75. I will say for me, I did prefer the second half of this book over the first half, as the first half felt a little bit rushed, especially around the relationship of Harley, our female main character, and Zach, our male main character. As an example, maybe a small spoiler, I don't know. After their first meeting, he's immediately driving her home, so now he knows where she lives. She welcomes him into her house, no issues really there. She slightly accuses him of being a reporter, but they get over that hump really fast, and then it is off to the races with the relationship, which in a normal situation would be really odd, but based on what's happened to her and the fact that people who did her harm are still at large, is way too trusting and accepting on her part. And that carried over throughout the rest of the book. That kind of made her seem one note, especially when it was revealed that he's a serial vigilante unaliver and he tortures people. She's like, oh, he does that. Okay, I'm going to help him. Like, there was no moral dilemma. In fact, he was the one checking in with her, making sure she was okay, and being like, maybe you shouldn't do this. This isn't for you, maybe. But he would like let her do it, and he'd be like, okay, but are you okay? So it just, again, made her seem very one note throughout the book, and it just didn't vibe with me. But I will say, during the second half of the book, their relationship did make a little bit more sense, because there was now more of a build-up, and I did enjoy that. And there are a lot of twists in this book that really made it interesting when you were trying to uncover the people at large of who were responsible for what happened to her. So I did enjoy the plot aspect. It's just, like I said, the first half of the book was not quite for me. But if this sounds like a book you're interested in, I strongly encourage you to give it a try for yourself. This just may not have been the book for me. It is currently available and is in the KU program, and I hope you give it a try. And I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.